Hey all, welcome to Share Trek. This is Raj here. This video is for people who are interested in HIV content. At the end of the year, we always like to measure progress, and that's why we find the top 10 and bottom 10 lists in many media circles, newspapers, and even in blogs. So today I have attempted to make one such list of top 5 countries that are struggling with HIV or AIDS problem. And I'm also going to talk about the best 10 countries in the list. This list is not very exhaustive because there are countries which do not have as many HIV cases, which is very, very negligible number. So they don't appear on this list. And the list comes from a very credible source. I'll also disclose the source and put a link to the source in the description so that you can see it firsthand. With that said, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. Let's talk about the top 5 countries with the highest HIV rate at the last count. These stats take time to collect, validate, and compile. So we are operating off a snapshot at the end of 2021 because it takes time to collect it from all the different sources, validate it, collate it, compute, and then come up with the rankings. So hopefully by the end of next year, we'll get stats for 2022. So right now, the best we can do is 2021. And the ground situation might have changed a bit for the better in some cases and a bit for the worse in some cases. So if you're on the ground in any of these countries that I'm talking about, please feel free to put in the comment if the situation is better than what I have described or it is getting worse. So that said, here's the very first country on the list, Eswatini. You might not have heard the name Eswatini. I heard it for the first time when I looked up this list. However, I know the country by its old name, Swaziland. So it's a country in Africa formerly known as Swaziland and has 27% of adults aged between 15 and 49 living with HIV/AIDS. Friends, 27, more than 1 in every 4. So that's a very serious number. As of early 2000s, Eswatini had one of the highest HIV prevalence rates globally. The HIV epidemic had substantial impact on the country's population and socioeconomic development, and key factors contributing to the high prevalence included multiple sexual relationships, low condom use, stigma, gender-based violence, and challenges in accessing healthcare services. The government of Eswatini, along with international partners, implemented various strategies to address the HIV epidemic. These efforts included HIV testing and counseling, prevention programs, antiretroviral therapy for those living with HIV, and awareness campaigns to reduce stigma. And that has given a little bit of respite, and therefore the numbers have come down from where they were at the very beginning. The next country, number 2 in the list, is Lesotho, which is another African country, and it comes next with 20.9% of adults aged 15 to 49 living with HIV/AIDS, which means more than 1 in every 5 adult is having HIV in Lesotho. The high prevalence of HIV has had a profound impact on the population, affecting overall health, life expectancy, and socioeconomic development. The government of Lesotho, with support from international organizations and donors, has implemented various strategies to address the HIV epidemic. These strategies include HIV testing, counseling, prevention programs, providing ART for those living with HIV. And despite efforts to combat HIV and AIDS, Lesotho has faced challenges such as limited resources, logistical issues related to health care delivery in mountainous terrain, because this country is in a very mountainous terrain. It's bounded by South Africa, and and the terrain makes it very difficult to do logistics operations. And the impact of social and cultural factors on prevention and treatment effort is also causing a big problem for them. The third country in this list from the top is Botswana, which is another African country, and it comes third with over 18.6% of adults aged 15 to 49 living with HIV/AIDS. That means almost 1 in every 6 adults has got AIDS out here. And Botswana has made significant progress in addressing its HIV epidemic, and it has been recognized for its successful efforts in reducing HIV prevalence and providing comprehensive HIV/AIDS services. Botswana has faced severe HIV/AIDS epidemic in the late 20th century and the early 21st century. At one point, the country had one of the highest HIV prevalence rate in the entire world. So it has done really well, but it needs a lot more to be done. Botswana has been widely praised for its strong political commitment and leadership in responding to the HIV/AIDS pandemic. The government has implemented comprehensive strategies to address the prevention, treatment, care, and support of those affected by HIV. South Africa comes next at fourth place, with over 18.3 of its adults aged 15 to 49 living with HIV/AIDS. South Africa has implemented a comprehensive and multifaceted response to HIV/AIDS epidemic, and the government has worked to increase awareness, expanding HIV testing and counseling services, and provide antiretroviral treatment to those living with HIV. However, South Africa faces challenges such as the high prevalence of tuberculosis among people living with HIV, issues related to adherence to treatment, and the need for ongoing efforts to reduce new infection are major challenges. South Africa has one of the world's largest ART programs, which aims to provide access to treatment for people living with HIV. The provision of ART not only improves the health and well-being of individuals, but also plays a critical role in reducing the transmission of the virus. And in the fifth place comes Namibia, with around 11.8% of its adults aged 15 to 49 living with HIV/AIDS. The government of Namibia has implemented various strategies to address the HIV epidemic, including prevention, testing, treatment, and care services. Namibia has shown commitment to fighting the spread of HIV and improving the well-being of those living with the virus. Like many other countries, Namibia has worked to expand access to ART for the people living with HIV. ART helps manage the virus, improves health outcomes, and reduces the risk of transmission. At the very bottom are 10 countries with just over 0.1% of population suffering from HIV/AIDS. And now, friends, I don't want this to be all doom and gloom, so let us look at the brighter side. These countries which have got less than 1% of population suffering with HIV/AIDS, there are around 10 of them. They are Australia, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Cyprus, Denmark, Iceland, Nepal, Netherlands, Oman, and Sudan. And those of you who are watching from the Indian subcontinent might wonder, where does India, Pakistan, Nepal, etc. stand? So if you look at the statistics for the subcontinent, then India, Pakistan, Nepal, and Bhutan are at 0.2%. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and China do not appear on the list. So I don't have those statistics out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a link to this article from where I took all this data. The data is downloadable. Here you can see the website. It is the World Factbook 2022. And this is from cia.gov/World Factbook. I have this link for you in the description below, so you can check it out from there. Now let us I'm surprised that we don't have China in here. Let us look at Central Asia. We have Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. In South Asia, we got Bhutan, India, Pakistan, and Nepal. And in the Middle East, we got Georgia, Qatar, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, and Oman. And East and Southeast Asia, we still don't have data on China. So we have Thailand, New Guinea, Burma, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines, Singapore, Timor, Lesotho, all these countries out here. And surprisingly, in North America, we don't have Canada or USA. We have got only Mexico. So by no means is this list comprehensive, but this is the best that we have at this point of time. So I'm using this particular list for the lack of any other much more comprehensive data. So friends, I hope that you were able to get something of value from here. And my own thoughts are that the fact that someone lives in a place, someone with HIV lives in a place which has got high prevalence of HIV should be a benefit. It may sound counterintuitive, but because of the higher numbers, the government gets a lot of international assistance. The government has got the main objective of providing free ART and doing all possible interventions to reduce and prevent and keep the virus levels low. So you'll have a better option as compared to a country where only 0.1 or 0.05% of the population has HIV, in which case it's not going to get as much of a priority in the national budget, in my opinion, because there are so many fighting ailments out there. You got hepatitis B, you got tuberculosis, you got various kind of other chronic diseases which the government has to tackle. So I think that's another contrarian viewpoint I'd like to put out there. And I'd like to get all of your views in the description below. How do you feel your country is treating you as a HIV patient? Is your country giving you adequate facilities? Do you have social workers who come to have a look at you and make sure that you take your medicines and to give you counseling? Do you have a place where you can go in case you have doubt that you have HIV, so that you could get some real information? Do you get ART free? What are all the constraints that you face? Is there a stigma in the society? Whatever are your thoughts about the snapshot of the state of society with regard to HIV patients in 2023, please put it in the comment section so that all of us can know what is happening in which part of the world. With that said, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. I'm wishing you all a very happy new year, a very healthy new year, and I hope that we find some really excellent ART combination in the next year, and potentially the year after we should have a functional cure. And with that, my friends, I'd like to end this video here. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.